Steve was hard where he got second right here saying, hey, like God over.
Hey guys, good morning. It's Joe and it's time for Pocket with Joe. Happy Sunday, everyone. Got 4 great games on the ice today. Now, sorry, I hit the music. Not on purpose. 4 great games on the ice. Getting kind of distracted here. We have the game between the Carolina Hurricanes and New York Islanders going on right now. Now, there was a hard hit against the board. Right now, the refs are trying to decide if it's a 5-minute major here for the New York Islanders or not. Carolina's player just got slammed right out of the gate against the board. So looking at this game so far, I am riding the under 1.5 in this first period. So if you want to jump on it with me, jump on it right now as these refs work out what is happening in this game, if we're going to see a 5-minute major or not for the New York Islanders. Now, with that being said, I don't know if you want to jump on the Canes to be able to score on this 5-minute major. I'm not sure how much faith I have in the Carolina Hurricanes. Even we got a boarding penalty. It looks like they set a minor penalty. If you guys did hear that, he did turn at the last second. So, yeah, it is 5-on-3. For 1 minute and 11 seconds. So this is only a minor. So this is going to be critical for the New York Islanders to hold off the Carolina Hurricanes. We'll see what they're able to do in this one, but I do like the under 1.5 in the first period. I think that's a solid way to go with this game. So both of these defenses really needing to step up. I know in the last game, we saw the Islanders win at 5-1, but I don't think Raanta struggles that much in this game. Now, that being said, Carolina struggled on the road playoff season in and out. We've also seen Raanta struggle on the road. He's yet to win a road playoff game in his last 7. So this is going to be really hard. I do think, Mike, you could look at them to bounce back in this one. They absolutely need to bounce back. The Islanders are going to play hard, though. So I do like the under for the first period. Not sure if I'm going to get on it for the full game because we could see those empty netters come in and screw us over. Aho for the anytime goal. Which way are you looking at Aho for the anytime goal as Carolina goes up? Carolina able to score. It looks like Javis just scored that goal on Sorokin. That being said, you guys, that was a nice shot that he got away on Sorokin. I would still be looking at Sorokin's save shots on goal. We know how strong Sorokin is here. I do think this is a game that has a possibility of going to OT as well. These two teams are going to battle to the very end. The New York Islanders do not want to lose this one at home and go into Carolina because we know how strong Carolina is at home, winning those first 2 games. So give me the overtime in this one. Pray, hold on to that under 1.5. If you're looking to bet this first period, you're going to get better value now, hitting it under at under 2. At this point, we got 15 minutes left. If you hadn't jumped on it before, I wouldn't be jumping on it now. I'm just going to hold my breath for the whole game like I did between so many of the games yesterday. Yesterday, a harder day on the ice. Now, at the bottom of the hour, we do have a good game between the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers. Looking at this series, Boston is leading this series 2-1. Florida able to pull off an upset win in Boston in game 2. The Boston Bruins answering back here on the road for game 3. Now looking at today's game, this one kicks off at 3:30 Eastern, so we got a little bit of time here. I just want to check starting goalies for this one. I'm pretty sure it will be Omar. I see Lyon as well. I've seen Bobrovsky listed too. So it's going to be interesting to see where Florida goes with their goaltending. I just want to check to see if my books are maybe ahead of the sites with who they are predicting for the goalie props. And I'm not seeing the goalie props. So between Bobrovsky and Lyon for the Florida Panthers, no one has been listed. And between Omar and Swayman, I'm pretty sure we're going to see Omar in net tonight. Now, Islanders right now skating up and down the ice like mad in this one. So it looks like we got another penalty on the ice. I will keep you guys up to date with how this game's going if we can jump in on anything. I tell you what, if we see the Canes score again, in this game here, in this first period, you got to jump on the Islanders plus the 1.5 because I do think you're going to get value. So that is where I am looking at that one. But let's turn back to the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers as I have like a hair across my face. Sorry, guys, it's driving me absolutely crazy. I do think this is one where the Florida Panthers come out. They cannot lose another one at home. Can they win this one? I don't think so. The Boston Bruins playing so phenomenally strong, but I do like them to come out and give it their best shot. The only way they can beat the Boston Bruins, we saw it in game 2, was to get these goals, to play a high-scoring game. So I'm expecting another high-scoring game out of the Florida Panthers. I'd be looking at their team total to the over, or looking at Boston's team total to the over, because I do think with Florida pushing, we will see Boston capitalize on mistakes out of the Florida Panthers. Now, the defense for the Panthers has been stepping up, but that being said, they are playing really physical. 54 hits in the last game, only 41 hits for the Boston Bruins. So playing a more physical game. Neither team has been able to convert on the power play, which is really surprising. 0-4 for the Boston Bruins on the power play, 0-2 for the Florida Panthers on the power play in game 3. I'm going to look at some prop bets in this one. Montour has been playing excellent for the Florida Panthers. I'd look at his points to the over. Matthew Tkachuk's to the points over as well. I like his assists in this game. He does need to come out and score for Florida to have a chance to beat Boston in this one. On the other side of the puck, David Pastrnak has been so solid. I think he could get a goal in this one. We've seen those shots coming in for him. He's been playing incredible. Last game in 21 minutes on the ice, he was able to get 7 shots on goal. So I do think this is one you look at David Pastrnak of the Boston Bruins to get those shots on goal again in this one. I look at what the Florida Panthers did in the first 2 periods versus the Boston Bruins, and I look at how limited their offense was. If Boston can limit the offense of the Florida Panthers right out of the gate, that is key for them here. Florida is not going to like that. They're not going to let that happen. In the first 2 periods, Florida was held to 12 shots on goal. I do see more shots coming for the Florida Panthers. We know how strong this team is at getting those shots on goal. So I'm not afraid to take those shots on goal props, but I wouldn't take as many. I'd look at the points. I'd look at the goal scorers in this one in case Boston is able to lock them down that strong defensively again. Expect this game to be more like the game that the Florida Panthers won, in which it was a higher scoring. The offenses really came out strong out of the gate. So in this one, I'm going to take that first period. I'm going to take it over 1.5. I do expect these goals to come in quick. If it's Bobrovsky and not Lyon, I'm not worried at all. Bobrovsky is a strong goalie, but hasn't been on the ice for a while. That early goal coming in for Boston is a great possibility with a goalie that hasn't hit the ice in a while. I actually really hope that it is Lyon coming in for the Florida Panthers. I know a lot of people hoping Bobrovsky will. Now, Tyler Bertuzzi is another player to look at for the Boston Bruins, looking at his points today. I do think he comes out strong as well in this one. So this is going to be a great matchup on the ice. Let me know what you guys are looking at in this one. Yeah, there is a good chance. I like sprinkling to OT as well. I think it's a great opportunity. I'm not sure in this one if we can look at this one going to OT. The only reason I say that is because we just know how strong the Boston Bruins are. But the Florida Panthers are a team that are giving them heck. I do think between the Canes and the Islanders, this game that we're watching play out right now goes to overtime. It's interesting. Only 2 shots out of Carolina. And we've seen that 1 goal. This game, if we could bet penalties in this game, penalties are racking up. We do have someone from the Islanders hurt right now going to the back. Another penalty for the Canes. So there's 2 in the box for the Islanders. I tell you, I don't know what's happening here. These 2 teams are playing really, really scrappy out there on the ice. So lots of penalties coming. Bounce back day for the Canes and the Stars. I do believe it's a bounce back day for the Stars. I'm not sure if I like the Canes on the road. We'll see how this one fares out. I haven't taken a side in this one. It might be something that I live bet when I watch these first 2 periods. Pastrnak, anytime goal as well. Yeah, I do think Marshawn, or I'm not sure what I think there. I'm going to stay off of it for sure. Okay, let's look at the next one. I tell you, whatever hair is sitting on my face, I'm going to go crazy. It's from my head. I know it is. That's why I keep moving my hair around. Apologies, you guys. Let's look at the next game here on the ice. Dallas Stars taking on the Minnesota Wild. Now, 6:30 Eastern. We've got lots of times to get our bets in for this one. Ottinger should be in goal for the Dallas Stars. Gustafsson should be in goal for the Minnesota Wild. Minnesota doesn't like to announce their goalies. We know Fleury came in and absolutely struggled. I would be shocked if the Minnesota Wild end up going back to Marc-Andre Fleury, giving him another shot in goal. Gustafsson should be their goalie. Now, the Wild are leading this series. They're leading it 2-1. They won that last game 5-1. They absolutely dominated their ability to open up offensively in this game. So their puck movement was beautiful in that one. I am looking for a stronger performance out of the Dallas Stars. I'm also looking for the Dallas Stars to smarten the hell up, to say it nicely, and stay out of the freaking penalty box. They had 12 minutes of total penalties in the last game. It really did cost them the game. Now, I know the Minnesota Wild only went 1-4 on these power plays, but you can't give them that one-man advantage for 12 minutes of a 60-minute game. It was absolutely ridiculous what we saw out there out of the Dallas Stars. So the Dallas Stars went 0-2 on their power play as well. Strong penalty kill out of the Minnesota Wild. I am looking for this one to be another one where the Dallas Stars bounce back. I really do think they answer back in this one. They lost game 1. They answered back in game 2. Minnesota won game 3. I think Dallas answers back here. Do the Wild go back and win the next one? Maybe. We could get that zigzag effect all the way to game 7 between these two. I do think Dallas has been the better team on the ice, and it's really hard to say when they lost 5-1 in the last game. But you look at the faceoffs, they controlled and won 62.7% of those faceoffs. Now, Minnesota definitely playing the more physical game. 26 hits in the last game, only 17 for the Dallas Stars. Shots on goal were pretty even, both defenses limiting both of the opponents for their shots on goal. Dallas Stars had 24. The Minnesota Wild had 25. So Jake Ottinger does own a lot of that. That being said, some of these goals, one of the goals came on a power play, but he did struggle in this game. I'm looking for a bounce back out of Ottinger. I'm looking for a bounce back out of the Dallas Stars. So I do think this is a nice one to look at the Dallas Stars at plus 100. I also like that first period over 1.5 because these offenses are coming out so phenomenally strong. In the first period of game 3, the Minnesota Wild scored. In the first period of game 2, both teams got a goal. Dallas actually got 2, the Wild got 1, and in the first game, the Wild scored. So sorry, the Wild scored the first period of game 1 and game 2. I do think we have more of an open game like we did see in game 2 there. More penalties coming on the ice out there. The Islanders now on a power play. I tell you, there is a lot of penalties so far. That is for sure. So give me the over 1.5 in that first period as well. I do think OT, you've got to look at this game as well to go to overtime. I could see this one being either 2-2 going to OT with the majority of the goals coming in the first period, or 3-3 going to OT, pushing us over that total of 5.5. I think if the Dallas Stars want to win this, they have to play an over-style game, which is crazy to say, but Jake Ottinger just hasn't been playing strong enough as it is right now. Kev, a big shout out to you this morning. Happy Sunday. Hard to believe it's Sunday. Robertson has to step up today for Texas hockey tonight. Absolutely. Okay, you guys, let's look at this last game. Now, this last game, I've gone over this 5 million times. Okay, so we know the LA Kings lead this series. The LA Kings are leading this series 2-1 over the Edmonton Oilers. I could see, and I'm not going to bet it big. I could see the Kings pulling off another upset, headed back to Edmonton. Edmonton wins the next game. Edmonton wins game 6, and then they go to game 7. They're scrapping on the ice, something severe, you guys. I do think we have the opportunity to see game 7 in this. I think if LA loses this one and Edmonton ties it up 2-2, Edmonton wins in 6. I've just been going back and forth with this. So I think it's pivotal for the Kings to push it to game 7 for them to get the win tonight, and then Edmonton wins the next 2. We know Edmonton will not stop fighting. We know how strong this team is offensively. So I do think it has a good possibility. We've seen 2 of the first 3 games go to OT between these 2. I do think that is how tight this game is going to be again. That game 2, where you see that box score of 4-2, isn't a true representation of how tight that game was. That was a 3-2 game, a game that should have been the Kings plus 1.5. That bet should have cashed because we saw the empty netter by Evander Kane. And now I know the empty netter counts just as much as anything, but not true representation of how tight these teams play. Edmonton likes to get up, and if they get up fast, the Kings don't give up. So this isn't a team that backs down after they feel like hope is lost. They keep fighting to the very end, and that's what we've seen out of them in the 2 wins that they've got so far in this series. They haven't given up. Now, in game 3, they did score first in that first period, and that is what I wanted to see. I wanted them to come out hard out of the gate, be able to find the back of Skinner's net for them to have the opportunity to win. We know they got that win in OT. I know it was controversial, that win. Lots of Edmonton fans screaming that Edmonton or that the Kings shouldn't have got that goal because there should have been a penalty on that play. It is what it is. The Kings still won. I say that because I was on the Kings in that game, so a little bit biased, I know. But I do think this is one where the Kings could pull off another upset, and then we see Edmonton go back home and play an absolutely phenomenal game and smoke the Kings. So in my mind, that's what I'm seeing. I'm seeing Edmonton win the next 2 games after this. Game 4 here, go to the Kings. Game 5 and 6, go to Edmonton. The series tied 3 apiece, and we have a game 7. So I think this is going to be a fantastic series between these 2. Could Edmonton tie it up? Absolutely. Today, Edmonton's such a strong team offensively. We have seen Connor McDavid finally get on the scoreboard for the Edmonton Oilers. So he has found a way to find the back of the net of Korpisalo. I think you got to ride Korpisalo's save shots on goal over again. Edmonton put 40 shots on him in the last game, playing absolutely phenomenal in net. He only allowed 2 to go in. He had 38 save shots on goal. We have to ride him. Keep riding him, you guys. He is the key for the Kings to get the win. I have seen this as well, Richard, so hopefully he is back. Kev, you're thinking the series goes to 7 as well. And Kev, I keep flirting with how to take this one, and I really do think the best chance for this game to go to 7 is if Edmonton goes down 3-1 in this series today. I think if Edmonton ties it up 2-2, I think this one is finished in 6. I really just don't see it going to 7 if Edmonton wins today. So I do think the Kings can pull off another upset win at home. We've got great plus money on the LA Kings in this, and then we will see Edmonton really with their backs against the wall. We all know Edmonton during the regular season couldn't win the games everyone expected them to win. Even everyone's expecting them to bounce back in this one to tie up this series. We're getting Edmonton on the road at minus 155. No, thank you. They could win, but you guys, I think the value is on the Kings. I like the storyline on the Kings to win it tonight. I do think the over at 1.5 in the first period. I think both of these teams, they know they have to smack each other in the mouth right out of the gate. I think this one has opportunity to go to overtime. Evander Kane, looking at his shots on goal tonight, he's been so strong for the Edmonton Oilers. I'd also look at him for the anytime goal, plus 220 for Evander Kane for that anytime goal. Zach Hyman, his shots on goal or anytime goal as well. Hyman at plus 185 for the anytime goal. He's put up, I think it's 11 or 12 shots in the first 3 games, so he is getting these shots. I hate to use the word like he's due or it's about time that he has one of these connect because it's on Korpisalo. Korpisalo is so strong. So I do think looking at his shots, definitely to the over would be a strong way to go in this one. Now we know lots of players of the LA Kings able to make a huge impact. I do think the Kings, though, are a little bit more balanced even with their top line, and they really pass this puck around a lot. So I don't really like to target anyone for the Kings for those anytime goals. I do think you could look at Kemp, though. We saw him in the last game. He got us that beautiful goal in the last game and made us some money there. Couple other players I would look at if we're looking at someone else. You got to look at Drew Doughty for the anytime goal or the point in this one. I think he's just playing so phenomenally strong. Yeah, Kemp shots on goal. I would look at his shots on goal over. Kemp shots on goal over. Leon Draisaitl playing strong as well for Edmonton. So lots of players you can target in this one. If we see these guys back, Richard, I'd be looking at them to make impacts today after time off the ice. So lots of great games. We are still at 1-0 for the Carolina Hurricanes right now in the first period versus the New York Islanders. So I'm looking for my under 1.5 to hold in this one. You guys keep your fingers crossed that we go scoreless for the rest of this first period. We've got the one goal. We don't need any more as the Islanders really drive up ice on Toronto. So we will see what happens. Defenses are playing strong, though, you guys. Carolina still only 3 shots on goal and 1 goal, 7 shots for the New York Islanders. If you're looking to jump in live at this one, let's look at the live numbers here for you guys. You can get the Carolina Hurricanes laying the 1.5 at plus 146. I don't like it. If you do think the Islanders get the win here, I know a lot of you believing the Islanders get the win. It's supported by the fact that Carolina never can win these games on the road in playoffs. We've seen it all last season. They just couldn't get it done. So looking at the Islanders plus 168, it absolutely screams value. That under 5.5 is at minus 150. So no value in that under right now. If we see another goal come in this first period, we're going to see that total jump up to 6. At that point, I would be looking at the under. You're going to get the value at the under there because I do think this is a lower scoring game at the end of the day. Raanta and Sorokin both have to stand on their heads. Now, getting Sorokin for his oversave shots on goal is going to be hard here because the New York Islanders are really limiting the Carolina Hurricanes' ability to get these shots, holding them only 3 shots here with 7 minutes left in the first period. So let's hope here we can hold on to that under 1.5. Let's look at the other games, recap those games, best bets, everything we got going on. So the Boston Bruins and the Florida Panthers, you guys, like I said, the Bruins lead this series 2-1. I do think we see Florida come out and play a game that they are desperate to tie up this series here at home. They pulled off the 1 win in Boston, but we know how incredibly hard that is to get the win in Boston. So I'm looking at this one for the goals to come in. I think that first period over 1.5, and that's what I'm going to put in the parlay. This game kicking off right away between Boston and the Panthers. Give me the over 1.5 in the first period for my best bet of this game. Look at David Pastrnak for the anytime goal for the Boston Bruins. We know how strong he has been. Matthew Tkachuk, anytime goal for the Florida Panthers. He has to come out. He has to lead his team, get the confidence there. I'd love Matthew Tkachuk to come out and get the first goal in this game. It would be phenomenal to see. That will set the tone for this whole game. Montour coming out here, defensive player for the Florida Panthers, for his points, for his assists tonight. I do like as well. We have seen him with a goal. Tyler Bertuzzi coming out for the Boston Bruins as well, looking at his points on the board tonight. So that is that game. We're going to leave it out of the parlay, but I do think the best bet, the over 1.5 in the first period. The Dallas Stars and the Minnesota Wild, Jake Ottinger and Gustafsson are the expected goalies. In my opinion, we might see Marc-Andre Fleury, like I said, Minnesota Wild not liking to announce their goalies, really struggling with that. I do think we see a high-scoring first period like we have seen in game 2 between these two, where Dallas was able to get 2 goals. Now, pivotal for Dallas to come out and control this game, stay out of the penalty box. They were winning those faceoffs. Gustafsson just too strong in the last game, and the defense really limiting the Stars' ability. I like the Stars to bounce back. I'm going to throw the Stars into my long shot parlay on the money line. I think they have every opportunity Actually, let's scrap that. Let's take the Stars plus 1.5 in the parlay. We're going to pay the juice, but we're going to parlay these last 3 games. So let's go there. This is a 1-goal game all day long. So we're going to play it as a 1-goal game. I do think this one has the opportunity to go to overtime. I don't see this being a 5-1 blowout like we saw in game 3. I do think these two teams play tight. I do think it's a true game like that first game where we had double overtime. These two teams going to come out. The Dallas Stars cannot go down another game here. They absolutely know it. We're going to see the best out of both of these teams in this game. We've only got 2 games we're going to parlay. Okay, let's take the Kings plus 1.5, and we will take the Stars plus 1.5. Let me just see what the value is on taking both of them plus 1.5 for the parlay. So the Dallas Stars plus 1.5 for minus 260. The LA Kings are minus 170. I don't absolutely love it. Let's just see what the book is going to give me here for this together. Let me just put it in. Sorry, you guys. So $100 bet on that. It is paying back plus 232. So I don't mind it. I really do think both of these games, again, have the opportunity to go to overtime. Both of these teams can keep it tight if we have the game that we think we are going to see in this one. So I am going to parlay the Stars plus 1.5, and I'll parlay the Kings with that plus 1.5. That being said, I do think both of these teams get the upset win today. I'm going to throw a small parlay on the Kings on the money line and the Dallas Stars on the money line. I think it is a nice opportunity to make some money, but just a small sprinkle. I think both of these games can go to overtime, plus 360 to plus 390 for both of these teams to go to overtime today. I do like that as well. And looking at the prop bets for these games, Ryan Hartman has been really strong for the Minnesota Wild. Looking at his shots on goal, Hasekan, I can never say his name right, has been really strong for the Dallas Stars. Looking at his assists would be another solid way to go in this one. Who else could we look? Kemp for his points for the LA Kings. His points over 0.5 point, I do think, is a strong one for that anytime point. Leon Draisaitl for his assist for the Edmonton Oilers, I think, is strong as well. Hasekan, yeah, his points over 0.5 point too, I like. So that's for the Minnesota Wild. Bertuzzi for the Boston Bruins, his point. Connor McDavid, shots on goal, I would look at as well. We know Connor McDavid needs to lead his team to victory here, but I do think the Kings have every opportunity to pull off this win at home. Like I said, I would like it to go to 7. I think Edmonton takes the next 2 games. We go to number 7. So I think this is going to be a fantastic series. If Edmonton wins today, I think they win in 6. So that's where I'm going, you guys. I wish you all the best in all of your bets today. Thanks so much for joining me here for Pikkit with Joe. My TV is going to be on all day. I can't wait. We have playoff hockey, playoff NBA. Right now, the Knicks are up 36-29. Let me know what you are betting in that. I had the Knicks in the first half. Fingers crossed. We've got 8 minutes and 32 seconds for the Knicks to pull this off in the first half. I did take them to cover the first half spread. So that is where I'm going with that one. We have the Toronto Blue Jays and the New York Yankees out right now, bottom of the first. That one is scoreless. We've got Guzman out for Toronto. We'll see. We'll see what he can do. Zach Eflin out for the Tampa Bay Rays. I tell you, MLB is killing me right now. We'll see what happens. The Philadelphia Phillies already up 4-3 over the Rockies, top of the 6th there. High scoring game, but lots of great action all across the board today, you guys. I'll be back tomorrow at 3:30 Eastern for another Pikkit with Joe. Join me back here. I hope to see you all back here tomorrow. Have a safe Sunday. Bye, guys.